It's a battle of the purple. Quote the Ravens nevermore. Lamar Jackson is healthy and trying to get his team back into playoff contention. The Minnesota Vikings, with their new top dog, like a dog in the street. JJ McCarthy is into legacy building and will try to get his Vikings their first two-game winning streak of the season. Here are the fellas to preview the Ravens and Vikings.
Oh, yes, Week 10 is upon us. And hopefully, Tony and Bill, Week 10 will be a little bit more exciting than the Thursday night kickoff to the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders, which was a 10-7 bore fest. Somehow the Broncos are 8-2, and the Raiders are still the Raiders. So hopefully this week will be a lot more exciting as we break down the battle of the purple. You got the Ravens, Lamar Jackson coming to town. You got the excitement of one young J.J. McCarthy. But the question to ask you, gentlemen, it's up on our page. It's a poll question we put up there literally about a half hour ago. Very simple. Are you okay with the Minnesota Vikings standing pat at the trade deadline? Simple yes or no. I start with you, Bill Dunkel. Were you a little disappointed? Did you want to hear something? I mean, kind of feel like when you don't get anything, it's as if it's like a birthday without a present. You're sitting there, it's your birthday, you're excited, and then no present. What? Did someone forget? It's like kind of nothing, right?
Well, they weren't going to trade anybody to get picks, so the only way I would have done anything if they would have traded anything gave away maybe a fourth through a seventh. Otherwise, not surprised at all. Kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to happen. Salary issues too, salary cap issues.
Yeah, Tony. They apparently they did make that they wanted to possibly add a defensive back. We've seen over the last few weeks some uncertainty, especially in the middle of the field. Might be more of a safety concern than the cornerback situation, but still, Vikings have given up a lot of yards to quarterbacks, also high quarterback ratings. Were you okay with the fact that they stood pat at the trade deadline and didn't add anything to this team?
I'm okay with it. Like Bill said, they would have had to give up, if they wanted a quality player, they would have had to give up quite a bit. And I don't know how many draft choices they still have because they've given up a few now for a couple of players that aren't even here. So
yeah, that's true. And you look at the prices of what was being asked.
Yeah.
I mean, the Indianapolis Colts, I don't know how many draft picks that they gave up. They gave a lot for Sauce Gardner.
Two number ones, and I think
Mitchell, the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Jets, really, I thought our old boy Rick Spielman there.
Like Rick.
Did a nice job procuring picks, although
Why didn't he ever do that here?
Yeah, right.
Well, he did do it here. I mean, he drafted Carlson and
he did it.
Boritzer and
he did it here for all the seventh round.
Wasn't that a record for most seventh round picks? He kept trading down to get seventh round picks. I don't know.
Yeah, none of them made the team. That's the funny part.
No, he didn't. No, he did.
You didn't like David Yankee?
I forgot all about him.
That's the question to be asked here. Please join us. Give us your responses. Did you want to see the Minnesota Vikings do something? Now, it's not like they can't do something, and we'll talk about that in the purple headlines next. Just a couple of things to get out there for you guys to be prepared for the game on Sunday. It's going to be on the NFL on Fox. Kevin Kugler and Daryl Moose Johnson will be doing the coverage at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central. And the referee for this particular game will be Sean Tight Shirt Hockley. So what does Sean bring to the table? Well, he likes to throw the yellow hanky. So expect a lot of yellow flags to fly. 13.8 penalties a game. He's always in the top 3. So you're going to have to get used to that on Sunday. Now, for our purple headlines, let's listen to Kevin O'Connell as he talks about really the number one story in the NFL this week, which was unfortunately this. Here's Kevin O'Connell responding.
Excited for our team to get a chance to be back at US Bank Stadium in front of our fans. Hopefully we get our usual one-of-one electric environment in US Bank Stadium. A really good football team coming to town. We're going to have to play really well to win the game. Giving you guys an injury update, we'll have 2 players ruled out for the game, Jeff Okuda and Josh Oliver. 2 players questionable, Theo Jackson and Aaron Jones. No one else in the game will go in with a designation.
Okay, well, that's not the quote. That was not what I was looking for, but let's respond to that. Really, the Vikings are about as healthy as they've been all year. Aaron Jones is going to play. I'm excited for that. That's the good part of what Kevin O'Connell said, gentlemen. Your thoughts, Tony, going into this game, fully healthy. What do we like as far as the team being completely healthy? What are you looking forward to seeing on Sunday?
I want to see if KOC has his team ready to play. Bottom line,
First quarter.
He says we need this, we need that, we need to win this game. We got to show up for the fans. Well, guess what? Your home record ain't the best, buddy. And in games like these, the team's not prepared.
Right. Exactly.
So he's got to prove that to me. The injury front, this is probably the first time all year we've actually been somewhat healthy.
And that means
also Baltimore's coming in with Lamar Jackson healthy, and you still got a healthy Derrick Henry. So,
yeah, that's a big concern for the defensive side. We'll get into that in a little bit. Bill Dunkel, this means Ron Kelly's going to play? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Boy, I
bet Kelly's a friggin' inactive.
Yeah, he's not
going to be inactive? Okay, because I didn't see his
It'll be
name
Blake.
come up.
It'll be Blake.
Okay.
Yeah, Brando's
All right, he did an unbelievable job on Sunday, so we'll see, where
not only Derrick Henry and Lamar, it's that Patrick Ricard. I love that guy, that fullback. They got like
a heck of a player.
Him and Henry, that's almost 600 pounds.
Yeah.
With a big offensive line to boot.
Offensive line.
Yeah. No
and
doubt.
A former Gopher on that line who's playing guard. What TB isn't he like 6'8", 350, 360?
Yeah, Falele, he's technically a tackle.
Yeah,
but they moved him to guard. Now, here's the thing. Baltimore's got 2 Gophers starting.
Yeah, they do.
Falele at tackle, Rashad Bateman at wide receiver.
And then they got the short arm, but I still like him, center from who's a wrestler also. What's his name?
Linderbaum.
I remember there was a lot of people thinking the Vikings should draft Linderbaum.
Yeah, I wish
there was a lot of.
He was on my radar. I did say Gopher, but I knew he was going to be gone.
It'll be interesting to see. I think center has to be something they have to discuss with the draft coming up.
I mean, this is a playoff game on Sunday, just like against Detroit.
There's no question about it. We're going to break down how important this is, and I know in Bill's Bites, they're going to actually basically state how crucial this game actually be if you look at Minnesota Vikings history. The soundbite I was looking for, Kevin O'Connell, we don't need it. Kevin O'Connell came out. The first thing he did at his press conference today was discuss the sadness that him and the organization felt when they learned of the passing of Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealon, 24 years old. He basically expressed, Bill, as you said, that before we did the show, that the Vikings brought him up there to talk about possibly bringing him in.
From our organization to the Dallas Cowboys organization, our condolences after the tragic passing of Marshawn Nealon. We did host him for a visit during the draft process and got to know him pretty well. Just wanted to start with that and make sure our condolences and prayers are with the Nealon family.
Yeah, I mean the guy scored a touchdown, correct, Tony, on Monday night?
Yeah,
right?
He scored at a block punt. Yep.
It seemed like everything's going well. I saw pictures on his social account. Gorgeous girlfriend, or that might be his wife. I am not sure. Girlfriend, right? Absolutely gorgeous. You're a member of the Dallas Cowboys. It's just amazing how much things can kind of change in a period of time. And we're talking about somebody that obviously had some mental problems and did not know how to control it. And it's just a wonder, Bill Dunkel, why this you don't hear about this more often, because the pressure that these athletes are under, and just, so with social media too, when you don't do well, I mean, can you imagine what JJ McCarthy, who our young quarterback, has mental issues. He's told people he's got kind of these mood swings. And could you imagine if JJ McCarthy was reading all the social media before he started, like, oh, what a bust? He actually talked about that. He actually said, hey, I know a lot of people aren't happy with how it started, but I'm back and I'm going to change that narrative. But you can imagine what these guys feel. So you wonder if at 24 years of age, and I don't know if Marshawn was on any kind of medicine to help him with it, any kind of mood enhancer. But Tony, 24 years old, and you take your life. You're a professional athlete. You've made it to the top of the top, arguably the most noted franchise in America. But it goes to show you that it might not be enough to keep you happy.
Here's the thing. It's been prevalent in the NFL for years. I remember even back in the 80s, a former Chiefs player killed himself and his wife. And he was going through what, Marshawn was probably going through. It was after his career. Jim Tyre, that was his name.
Yeah, I remember him.
We had it here recently, Everson Griffin.
Yeah.
And you would think the NFL would, because the game is not as violent as it once was, but there's still violence there. You think you would have somebody on hand to deal with these players that are having these mental episodes. A lot of teams still don't do that. They started doing it now.
Yeah, the Vikings have. Remember, Kirk Cousins went to them quite often.
We didn't get ours until after Everson.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with Everson was
it just kind of for them to actually.
Yeah, it took that to happen. So it's kind of like, these NFL teams, they talk about caring for these players, which that's just me. I'll save that for another show. But they need to do more to protect their employees. That's what they are. They're employees. And believe it or not, their job is stressful.
It's very stressful.
They don't care. It's all about the money.
They don't care. And that's the thing. These players for years have been expendable. You got a college draft every year. One player retires, you got two more coming in from the draft.
Yeah, pretty much.
Off the street. So it's
a commodity.
You're a commodity. That's all you are. And prayers go out to Nealon's family
and his whole family. It's a horrible situation.
Yeah,
I know the NFL. They did last night in Denver. They had a moment of silence. I'm assuming that on Sunday you'll see a lot of that.
And now keep in mind, people, this happens a lot, not only in sports but in the NFL, especially with a contact sport. It happens a lot. I think it happens a lot in hockey too.
Yeah, CTE, because there's so much physical damage your brain can take, and you're going to start feeling that.
I'll put it out there right now. I could have low forms of CTE from all my years of playing football.
Yeah.
I have those, as they say, grandpa moments. But, these guys get paid. I wasn't getting paid. I just loved the sport, and I still went out there and did it. And, I'm paying the price now. So,
yeah, it takes a lot out of you. But,
it does.
Business-wise, Jerry Jones just made those, trades, and now it's something else. He just made those trades. That thinks his team still has a chance, and now it's a huge gut punch to that organization.
Oh, imagine
Jerry is just there's the real world, and then there's Jerry.
There's Jerry's world.
Right. Here's the thing, though. Why isn't his son telling him not to do this?
Afraid of him.
Yeah.
Why would you be scared of a frail, damn near 90-year-old man?
I hate to say, Jerry wants some of that money.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though.
A lot of power. This Jerry pretty much is the man that I think really runs the NFL.
Jerry's the reason there's two teams in LA.
That's exactly correct. And now there's a reason why there's not a team in San Antonio. Jerry holds a lot of power.
Yep.
And it's just for all the Cowboy fans, just for anyone in general, though, it's kind of a moment, and it's just something that hopefully the NFL does a better job of identifying players that need help. And
I was just think, I wonder if he, the poor kid, the only time he felt good is when he played the game.
There are times though, and I've known players like this. The only time you feel like you're worth something is on that field.
Yeah.
You're a god, put it that way. You're invincible. You're Superman. Nothing. That's your world. When they're away from that world and they're in the real world, to them it's scary.
It's amazing you say that, Tony, because even from the greats like Michael Jordan, he talks about that addiction, the addiction that he doesn't have anymore, which is to go through that tunnel onto the court and to look at the person that's trying to guard you, to beat them, and the competitiveness and the meaning of importance it's just not there. And he said this on the show on NBC with Mike Tirico. He says, I wish I could put my sneakers back on and put my shorts on because there's nothing like that. There's nothing like it in the whole world.
That slogan they have, I think there was a couple of books about it, when the cheering stops.
Yeah.
It's very real.
And in the boxing world, you've seen many boxers talk about that. That's been a big thing with boxers, like just the glory, the money, the build up to the fight, and not having that. There's
a regiment involved too. With any athlete, there's a regiment. The training, the schedule. You're on a constant schedule, especially with pro sports. You're on a schedule. You know what you're going to do. You know you have to do this and that. You do it year round. Once that's gone, it throws your whole throws you off kilter.
A whole different direction.
Yeah.
Whole different direction. This is the Purple headlines on the official Purple Skull Squad show for Minnesota Viking fans. There is a particular cornerback in town, so maybe the Vikings didn't do anything trade-wise at the deadline, but could they, Bill Dunkel, in free agency, are you a fan of this, add one Asante Samuel Jr. to the mix? He is scheduled to meet with 5 teams. Would you be interested in seeing him put on the purple of the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, they have if one of the 2 starters gets hurt, they have nothing. 0. No depth, hardly. No depth. So, yeah, I mean, the knock on him is he can't tackle very well. But then again, the other knock is going to be whoever does sign him, if he signs anywhere, it's going to take him a while to get back into it. It's not going to be just a snap of a finger. So, yeah, I would. Why not?
I mean, if it's the league minimum, I guess. I mean, he's got to prove himself. And Tony, the injury
he fits Flores' system perfectly. I think the team to watch out for are the Steelers, personally.
The Steelers? I mean, it seems like the Steelers are adding every older or free agent kind of cornerback.
Because they fit well with Tomlin's system.
Yeah, with Tomlin's system. But this is an injury, too. This Samuel injury that he's coming back from, Tony.
And that is why I say no, and it's a hard pass, because guess what? We got enough damaged goods that we're paying top money to on this team now at the moment that aren't playing. So, this guy, one hit, he lands funny. He's out again, so you're paying this guy. I don't even know. I guess he gets vets minimum. I guess I don't know, but still,
he'll get the vet minimum. I know. I mean,
you're still paying him though, and he's coming in 8th, 9th game of the year.
No, it's tough.
It's tough.
He's not even in game shape. I mean, you talk about not in game shape at all. That's him.
That's him. Yeah. No, you're right about that.
I honestly don't think it's going to happen, but
I don't know. I don't think so either. He's got other visits, but. I mean, he did wear – wasn't he the one who wore the Vikings hat? Or was that Tyreek Hill? Could have been Tyreek.
It wouldn't shock me if they did sign him.
It would be a depth move. Listen, here's the question that I ask you. This is probably going to put a smile on your face. If you had to pick who you wanted to dress, Asante Samuel Jr., who has no game – shape at all, who's just coming from a serious neck injury, or Jeff Okudah, who would you want dressed in the Vikings uniform?
Samuel.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? I'm calling Nate Wright. I'm sorry. Really?
Well, you know what? Speaking of that name, the guy that they used to have that's now playing, a guy that was a Cowboy, and we traded Booth for him, and then we had his last name Wright also. And now he's in Chicago. Again, I'd probably take a loaf of bread. We get somebody. I mean, they are very thin. I'm surprised.
The trade deadline's over, but
I'm surprised.
So they're going to have to be poaching from teams' practice
squad. But it's going to be either the practice squad or the waiver wire.
I think that was Nathaniel Wright. That's with the Bears now. But I don't understand this in general why they thought Jeff Okudah was it's fine to have him, but they needed more. So I'm not understanding why.
Well, I think Flores they thought that the way that KOC was the quarterback whisperer, Flores wanted to take a shot at a reclamation project.
They believe their own egos. That's the problem.
That's the problem right there, Bill and Tony. All right. Let's talk about something that's pretty darn fantastic. And this should be inside the numbers, but we're just going to do it now because we can't hold back our joy. But I will take every week 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown for a 27-24 score, which is what J.J. McCarthy has done in both the wins for the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Now, there are actually people out there that are like, man, these stats are sucky. Really? I just want to tell you out there, for anyone that says
and by the
that,
way, some people we know very, and there's one person we know very well.
you can sit there and whatever you want. The only number that matters is 27-24.
The only numbers that matter are the numbers in the W column. I'm sorry your fantasy football team doesn't get a lot of yards. It's not my concern.
Exactly. And just a quick shout out as well to one Carson Wentz and his lovely wife, Madison. You now have time, Carson, to be a daddy all over again because they welcomed into the world on 11/4/25 Hunter May, a beautiful young daughter, their 4th child. And it works out perfectly for Carson because Carson's got a lot of time where he can just be daddy to Hunter May and help out watching the other 3 kids. So congrats, Carson Wentz and Madison.
Good job, Prince Harry.
There you go. Prince Harry is added to the royal family. There it is. It is out there. So congratulations. All right. Let's go around the NFC North to see what's happening on week number 10. And there's the standings. Yes, we're still in 4th place, but with a 2-0 mark in the division, it's really close. It's really jam-packed, just the way it always was back in the day in the NFC Central days, especially in the 80s. But the Packers, out of all these teams that we look at, if you were to look at it, and I did pick them to win the division, I admit it. Now I would like to retract that statement because when you lose to the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns at home, that's bad.
I got on you at the beginning of the year trying to figure out what the hell you saw in the Packers and make them division winners.
Really bad. Jordan Love can look like one week Aaron Rodgers, the good Aaron Rodgers. The next week, he looks like David Whitehurst. If you don't know who David Whitehurst is in Green Bay Packers, him up. He's horrible.
He's a
Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night, gentlemen. Your thoughts on the Eagles, Packers? I'm taking the Eagles in a statement game.
Eagles all the way.
Well, one thing, the Eagles, because Sirianni is never lost to the NFC North.
That's an interesting statistic.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
He has yet to lose to the NFC North?
That's pretty impressive.
Wow.
That's why I could just tell you something. That's why I picked Philly to beat us anyways. But as Blake and I were walking to the driving down to the stadium, listening to NFL radio, the guy goes, "Yep, Nick Sirianni. He's never lost to the NFC North." And I said, "Blake, that just proves it right there. They ain't winning this game." They didn't win. Yeah, he's never lost to the NFC North.
I'll tell you what, though. And then to make matters worse for the Packers, the Eagles get Jalen Phillips.
Yeah,
that's right.
So now you're going to be from all corners. I mean, that's going to be a rough game for Jordan, I'm afraid.
He doesn't have Tucker Kraft, that safety.
Yeah. And Kraft is gone. That's the biggest one.
And all the receivers are banged up. It seems like that's a curse in Green Bay that the receivers get hurt the last few years continually, no matter what. And Kraft was their Jordan Love's favorite target. Now what? And Jacobs, like I said to you guys last week, he doesn't look like he's the same running back. Looks like a little wear and tear.
You're right.
So.
He slowed down. He's not running with the same determination.
So, I kind of think the Packers will be 5-3-1 after Monday night. Now,
can I ask one question? Can I ask one question? What it must be like to have a GM like Howie?
It's got to be nice.
We wouldn't know. We haven't had one like that since Jim Finks.
We got Griggy and we got Wall Street.
Yeah, no, it would be nice. I mean, does anyone do a better job than him every year getting talent either through the draft or through trades?
I'm really going to have to start asking questions about Roseman because he's getting these players with ease. Like, where's the money coming from? Where are the draft choices coming? And how?
Imagine this. he's made one mistake, glaring mistake. He's made more, small. One glaring. Just imagine if you'd have drafted Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
when Zimmer and Spielman were laughing. They're like, yeah. Woo!
Can you imagine if you would have drafted him yet?
If he drafted Justin Jefferson to go along with they wouldn't have to. Was AJ Brown part of that team already?
No, AJ Brown wasn't
Tennessee,
AJ Brown?
right?
Tennessee,
He was
yeah.
in Tennessee,
They traded
yeah.
for AJ Brown. Good trade for missing Justin Jefferson. They got AJ Brown, so he took care of that anyway.
Only when they drafted.
They got Devontae Smith the next year, so he took care of that problem though. He made
But
up
still,
for that.
I mean, my God, this guy is something else. You know what? He's not afraid, to let a coach go that won a Super Bowl.
That's
Doug Peterson.
And
he's not afraid to say bye-bye to some guys and trade guys, and he doesn't care about hurt feelings and fans.
The best thing, the thing that helps Philly the most is the rest of the division has really went in the tank.
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
Yeah, and now and that's segueing into the next matchup in the NFC North. The Detroit Lions, fresh off to their feet of the Minnesota Vikings, must redeem themselves at Washington against the Commanders, who
without Daniels.
Yeah, just a jinx. I mean, it's a jinx. Washington was turning the corner, Tony. Would have been something in that division that might have given Philadelphia a run for their money, and now they've got to rely on Marcus Mariota to save the season.
The Jaden Daniels saga has now turned into RG3 Part 2.
It has. It's like a bad history repeating itself.
Only difference is they don't have a Kirk Cousins to step in.
No, they don't like that.
With RG3, they've got Mariota.
TB.
Yes.
So it's, and I'm surprised Dan Quinn still has a job after what happened.
Let me ask you, TB. You're sitting on the sidelines, the defensive player, the game's over, and your star quarterback is still in, and then he gets hurt. He's not going to lose the locker room. I'm not saying that, and I don't think he should get fired. But my God, you got to be shaking your head.
No, but it's in the back of your mind.
That's right.
And I think Bill, to use one of your lines, Washington's going to have a very angry Detroit Lions team.
Oh yeah,
who will take out their frustrations on Washington after losing.
Hey, and then quickly, Thanksgiving at 11 noon or whatever it is. The first game of the day is going to be Green Bay at Detroit.
That could be a huge game for everyone in the division, because it could be a battle for first place down to third place, because Chicago welcomes in the New York Giants, and Chicago had one of the craziest victories in their franchise's history. And actually, Ben Johnson has made a huge difference to that offense.
I'm going to put this out there. We talk about how our secondary doesn't tackle.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that Cincinnati game?
Oh,
I watched
the Bengals refused to tackle Loveland on that touchdown.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 100%.
And that's all they had to do was bring him down. The game was over. They had no timeouts. You tackle him. There's no way Chicago gets a field goal off with the amount of time that was left. But
to put up that many points, and it took Chicago that many points to win. Now, here's the thing. Against any other team, Cincinnati's defense is terrible. Hell, we put 48 points up on them. So them putting 47 up on them is, but they gave a 42 to a Joe Flacco offense.
Joe Flacco, I don't want to see Joe Flacco. He is playing some absurd, great football.
Can I say something? Brian Flores, if he does get a coaching job, he would be moronic to go and work for Mr. Brown in Cincinnati.
He'll be the first. I'll tell you what, both of those Ohio teams are going to go look at Flores.
I understand. I get what you're saying, but he would also walk in the door with his offensive already taken care of. He would be walking into the door to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, and a healthy Joe Burrow. All I have to do is get a defense to give up less than 20 points. You're going to win a lot of football games.
And I know the first person if Brian does take the job for the Bengals, the first person he can sign is Ivan Pace Jr. I don't care.
Yes. In fact, we'll add him.
Coaches.
Let's just give him as a bonus right there.
Ivan did play at the University of Cincinnati.
He did. Yes, he did. He played very well, too. He was a big-time Bearcat. But I'm thinking, by the looks of this, the Lions will be 6-3. The Bears will be 6-3 because the Giants, I don't know what's left on that team.
They got a new kicker. They got a new kicker.
Oh, watch out. New kicker for
Young Mike Koo is now the kicker for the Giants.
Oh, wow.
Well, and so did the Rams. They got the thicker kicker.
Yeah, they got some ex-linemen kicking for him, don't they?
The thicker kicker.
Yeah, he looks like a lineman.
Yep.
So by looking at that, gentlemen, I'm going to just guess the Lions will be 6-3. The Bears will be 6-3. The Packers will be 5-3-1 with that cheap tie there.
That means the Vikings.
And then we're going to wait. Let's hold on. Let's not give our prediction.
No, I know, but that just means the Vikings have to win.
Wait a minute, though. Here's a question. Mariota's starting in Detroit, right?
Yes, against the Lions.
Okay, is that in Washington?
That's in Washington.
Okay, guess what? Mariota still runs with the ball, and Detroit cannot handle running quarterbacks.
No, I mean they're playing for their life. The Commanders are playing for their life.
Yeah.
So you never know. Their desperation. You're at home. Detroit's shown some crinkles a little bit defensively.
But I think Meathead's going to have Detroit.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Okay, here's my thing with now. I'm gonna
take the whoop ass out on
Washington. Okay, I'm going in on Meathead because he's a friggin' dork.
Well, yeah, that I agree with.
How the hell you've beaten the Vikings 5 straight times? You're not gonna have them ready for this divisional game?
Complacency.
I don't care. I don't care. I love this song, by the way. I don't care. You have this team ready to play. You're supposed to be the team that's supposed to run away with this division, but yet you get a very soft Viking team that goes in there playing like the old Purple People Eaters and smack you around that stadium, and then you let Joe Cap Jr. beat you. Come on.
Like a dog on the street.
Oh. I mean, well, I'm happy, but I mean, if you're a Lions fan, you got to start asking some questions.
I get it.
There are holes in that team. And listen, the two-headed monster, Montgomery and Gibbs, maybe the Vikings have discovered something. I doubt it. But
they look more like Heckle and Jekyll on Sunday.
Like Heckle and Jekyll. The Vikings who gave up like 3,000 yards to Kenneth Gainwell and some running back by the name of Vidal somehow stopped Montgomery and Gibbs.
And by the way, you beat the Vikings 5 straight times. You went up against Brian Flores. You know where the blitzes are coming from, but yet you look like you never picked up a blitz against this team at all.
I'll say it, Brian, and maybe this will be the blueprint. Hopefully, if you have to have the talent first, obviously, but going after their center, they don't have right now. Now, I don't know if other teams specifically went after that center, but that was the game plan with Flores. Everybody has said he went after the center, and I think those guys, like, you know what Hargrave said? He got benched against the Chargers. He said that humbled him. And even though he's a vet, he didn't think that. I don't think he thought that would ever happen to him. And he got benched and that lit a fire. But he better have that fire in him this week, too.
Well, and Ragnow would have helped that team a lot with the 2 rookie guards.
Yeah. Oh, he would have.
Yes.
It would have helped a lot.
They lost Kevin Zeitler as well. That was a big loss.
Yeah.
Big loss.
But I mean, Bill talks about we needed a big fat guy in that middle line. My God, Levi Drake Rodriguez and Hargrave were looking pretty stout against that line.
They were eating a lot. They were eating the running backs, and they were really hunting Jared Goff all day. It was the Vikings probably should have had 7 or 8 sacks, but we know Grenard misses a few of them, and well, I
think he leads the league now in missed tackles.
I think he does. I think it's a weird
total opposite of last year.
He's just.
But you know what? He's got time to improve it. He's still getting
right.
there. He's getting there. He's just got to finish. And now is his time to start this week at home. So we'll see what Jonathan Grenard does.
Good luck against Lamar.
Yeah, well, that's going to be good luck. That's a good point. Trying to tackle that guy is like trying to figure out a Rubik's Cube in like 20 seconds. Not possible unless you know the cheat code. And Lamar Jackson's a cheat code. He is. It scares me.
But Lamar.
ESPN is also the fantasy world is also. I will tell you in numbers has Lamar projected, I believe, to be the highest point getter this weekend. So they're not buying into Brian Flores' defense, and they know Brian Flores' defense has a hard time against running quarterbacks. So
Lamar Jackson is not Jared Goff.
No, not at all. Let's get into our OPSSS Vikings player focus really quickly. We're going to give it to our kick returner who's had some gorgeous kicks, and unfortunately, the yellow hanky has come out pretty much every time he has a great return. Although he did have a 61-yard return.
Doug.
He's really good. He's exciting, guys. I would like try to reward him maybe with some receiving shots because listen, I mean, between Adam Thielen and dropping Jalen Naylor, I'd give him a shot. If he's got that speed, give him like some short routes and let him do his things on some wide receiver screens.
Put him in the backfield.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, the 27-year-old's only 5'9", 183 pounds, UDFA out of Indiana. He's got 739 yards returning kickoffs, 193 yards returning punts. He seemingly is much better at returning kicks than punts, but he's doing dual role because the Vikings don't have anyone else because Ty Chandler's been hurt.
Oh, and by the way, that kick return that was for a touchdown was called back for a really, really, really iffy holding call.
Very iffy. Very iffy. So Miles Price, our player focus, hopefully, maybe this Sunday, maybe the special teams will keep their hands to themselves and figure out a way to get him loose for a nice return because that certainly could be a game changer and would have allowed us, I think, Tony and Bill, to rest a lot easier in Detroit if that was allowed because we wouldn't have to sweat out the last 3 minutes of questionable coaching and Vikings offense.
Well, not only that, if they had called that pass interference on Jamison Williams on the touchdown.
That look at replay. That was interference.
I owe Irod an apology, but it's not like Irod's been overly good in his coverage since that Philadelphia game either. He still gave up a lot of yards to St. Brown.
Yeah, but even he gave up a lot of yards, but guess what? They didn't get in the end zone, but yet Jameson still got to push him off of them.
Oh, there's no doubt that was a push-off. That was a push-off. But they don't, these refs, they call it when they want to, and we just have to hope Sean Hockley on Sunday sees it or someone on his crew sees that and calls
the last 2 times we played Baltimore in 13, actually the last two out of 3 times, excuse me. The last 2 out of 3 times. In 13, that goofball game at the end there, didn't Cordero run one back?
Cordero had a long run. Toby Gerhardt had a long run.
That was an awesome game to watch in the snow, and it was.
And in 17, Marcus Sherrills ran a long one back. Then Scorby ran a long one back.
So maybe Miles Price is due.
And he's nicknamed Jug because his head looks like a jug. His teammates said.
It kind of does. Now that you're thinking of it, it kind of does. He did get a game ball. I think he got a game ball on Sunday. So good for him, Miles Price. Hopefully, you get a big kick return. Now it's time to turn the show over to the one that's actually played football, Tony Bell. Take us into the X's and O's of, I can only imagine, I kind of have a guess because you kind of told me where you're going to go with this segment, and God help the Vikings defense. So, Tony, you're the coach. How do the Vikings do the impossible?
Well, this is a test for the Viking defense this week. You're dealing with not only a very mobile and healthy Lamar Jackson, who can make plays on his feet with his arm on the move, but you also have to deal with a bull of a running back named Derrick Henry, who will take at least 10 players to bring him down just for a 2-yard gain.
Yep.
You have that going, and that running game is going to set up the pass.
Yep.
Getting pressure on Jackson, it can be done, but containing Jackson is the trick. That's the problem, containing him and bringing him down.
So I ask you this, Tony, will they have a spy on him?
Most likely it'll be Blake Cashman.
Okay. But that takes away, I mean, that hurts us because if Blake is spying.
It's either going to be Blake or you move Metellus up to the line and have him spy. I think Metellus might have a little more speed, but I don't trust Metellus either.
Not Pace?
Yeah.
No, Pace, no. Pace is too – you can't really depend on him. He's been erratic this year. And Eric Wilson, as smart as he is, doesn't have the speed to keep up with them. So it's going to be – I think
maybe Van Ginkel or no? You think Van Ginkel is –
No, they need that pressure up.
They need Van
Ginkel in coverage. What worries me about Cashman is how he got hurt. He got hurt against Caleb.
Yeah, but that was the first game of the year.
Yeah.
So he's got some reps in him now. He should be okay. Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, it ain't like we're looking at a Ray Lewis type of Ravens defense. We're not. That defense is not very good. Don't take what they did against the Dolphins last week as like, oh my God, they're back. No, they're still the same people. It was the Dolphins you faced. What KOC is going to have to do is, like I said every week, pound the ball, but you also have a quarterback that can make plays on his feet. Let him do that.
Roll him out, let him
roll
run.
him out, let him do that. You're going to be down a tight end. Oliver's not playing.
Yeah.
So I think is CJ Ham playing?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's going to be suited up.
I'm going to expect to see CJ Ham in a lot for just pick up blitzes and stuff like that, but he could also be out in the flat to catch passes. Yeah. So it's up to KLC to play ball control, but like you did last week, don't overdo it for the kid. And JJ's got to calm down. He'll be calmer this week. It's a home game. He may be a little excited, but he'll be calmer than he was last week.
Well, I think the team fed off his energy, so I want to see that. I think it's pivotal, and we'll get into this more when we break this game down and go over our big three. I think it's pivotal for the Vikings to get off a fast start on both sides of the ball just to get JJ that fiery.
And there is the key word. This team has got to get off to a fast start.
Yes.
And create some turnovers. This team is -4 in turnovers.
You know, John Gruden does his coach's thing every week, and he couldn't believe the stat on the Vikings. Do you know that they're the third worst team in having the lead in the NFL? The third worst team. There's only
they don't run the ball.
They don't run the ball.
Yeah,
we saw that last week down at the goal line. You threw a pass down at the goal line. You didn't make it on the first run. Okay. Come up with something on second down, maybe bootleg JJ or bootleg the tight end to the corner of the end zone. You could have did that, but it's almost like he just, when the field gets shorter, he runs out of play calling because he's so predominantly a passing guy. It's just, and I just think he hates running the football. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to happen this week. Yeah. It has to happen this week.
Let me ask you something, TB. Why don't they have, and they will, if I have Graham and, not Graham, CJ Ham and Mason in there, let's say it's down by the goal line. Why don't you just give it to the fullback, Ham, and let him go?
It could be. I mean, that's
they could do that, but the problem is, if you notice with NFL football now, the fullback just is primarily a blocking back, even with Kyle Juszczyk and Ricard. Ricard is actually out of the backfield as a receiver, but they
don't more jumbo packages, Bill.
Yeah, they don't let the fullback carry the ball anymore, and I've said this for years. Let the fullback run with the football.
Let's have some fun.
Get the tough yard.
Walter Rouse.
How big is CJ Ham? About 230?
230, maybe 230. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's short, 230. He's a Pro Bowl blocker. He's been to the Pro Bowl for blocking. Yep. Use it. It's just we have a coach, and he's just so. I don't know. It's a lot of your coordinators now are just pass, and you can blame the NFL for that too, because it's to the point now where you don't even pay running backs. Unless you're a Saquon Barkley or a Derrick Henry, you're not going to pay a running back.
And you're going to have Aaron Jones Sr., you're going to have Jordan Mason. You got two really good running backs. There's no reason.
If you've got all these tight ends, you've got CJ Ham. You can run the ball. If your offensive line can't get a yard or two, that's on coaching.
That's a problem.
As a head coach, down at the goal line, could have Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry, or whoever great bigger back, or just a great back in general, and would still
not use him.
Yeah.
He will not use him.
I think he thinks ego-wise, Bill, like he's trying to outthink his opponent.
Right.
When you know what? Even if your opponent knows what you're going to do, just run the football.
You put it this way. You already – I'm just going to be blunt. Here's the thing with KLC. You already got your butt kicked by one Harbaugh earlier.
Yeah. You know who's a good person for KOC to talk to about that? He should really sit down and call Pete Carroll and talk to Pete Carroll about, would Pete Carroll go back in history and run Marshawn Lynch 3 straight times against the Patriots instead of wanting to make his quarterback a hero and throw a football which was intercepted and Patriots won a Super Bowl they probably had no right to win. But
Well, and the thing with that was Seattle was going to part ways with Marshawn anyway, but they didn't want to
Right.
give
They
him
wanted
any
Russell
ammo
Wilson
on
to
the
be the
way out.
headline.
Yeah, they didn't want to give him any ammo on the way out.
And it was the same play. They ran the same play that they ran against them during the year. The Patriots knew what it was. Was Butler, knew exactly what Malcolm Butler knew exactly what play
Butler
it was.
did it.
And jumped the route. And it was there jumping the route right on time. So, no, whatever.
But how do you not? This is what I don't understand. How do you not? You've got the best running back in football at the time. How do you not give him the football at the goal line?
It's beyond words. But I'm sure Pete Carroll would tell Kevin O'Connell, I should have run the football.
And Pete, by the way, still doing it.
And Pete learned his coaching philosophy from who? Bud Grant.
Yeah, Bud Grant.
Yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen, let's go inside the numbers before we get to Bill's Bites. And there's some interesting numbers that Bill's going to present to us that is going to make you go, wow, are you kidding me? But inside the numbers is not really friendly to our beloved Minnesota Vikings, who are somehow home underdogs.
Which is good.
Which is good because it's incentive, right, Bill? It's incentive that Kevin O'Connell can use. But they're 3.5-point underdogs to the Ravens. The over and under in this game is 46.5 at latest count. The money line, 185 minus for the Ravens, plus 154 Vikings. So you know what?
I don't even know
Put some money on the Vikings. You know what? You can win some cash.
Why is there no money? Why is there no money line on how many times Hockley is going to get on the TV and flag?
Yeah, it probably is. I bet you there's an over-under on 12 flags on Sunday. I'm taking the over. Absolutely. Some fantasy studs for you to look at. Oh, there's another inside the numbers that will allow us to talk because I got to get your expertise on this, Bill and Tony. Some fantasy studs, and we always do this. Lamar Jackson is in the top 3 fantasy projected points this weekend. So there's no respect for you, Brian Flores. Use this in your locker room amp up. They expect Lamar Jackson to put a whopping 27 points up fantasy-wise.
Oh.
That's a lot. King Henry, only 15.8. That's a little low for him, believe it or not. Vikings must plays this weekend. Justin Jefferson, 19.98 points. Jordan Addison, 12.75. Our boy JJ, no love for JJ McCarthy, 14 measly points for a quarterback. And Jordan Mason at 8.5. This was an interesting thing. I just read this before we went on the show, so I put it inside the numbers. So Kevin O'Connell has the most wins by a head coach within the first 4 years while starting 7 different quarterbacks, gentlemen. Can you name the 7 quarterbacks? Because I don't know if this one should be added to the list, but he has more wins than any other coach in the first 4 years while starting 7 different quarterbacks. So I'll give you the obvious one, Kirk Cousins, right? Sam Darnold, that's 2. Wentz,
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Jobs. McCarthy, that's 5. Mullins is 6. So who's the 7th? Are you telling me they're going to give it to Jaron Hall for a start against the Atlanta Falcons when he was knocked out?
The 7th is Wentz.
7th is Wentz, but what I'm saying is, should Jaron Hall get? He played.
No, he got knocked out of the game. That goes to Dobbs.
It should, right?
Yeah, that goes to Dobbs.
I guess they're crediting Jaron Hall, unless I'm missing a quarterback in this bunch.
No, they're giving Hall started, got knocked out of the game, but they won, so they're giving Hall the win. But It was Dobbs that literally won that game for him.
Yeah,
Dobbs won the game. I mean,
he gets the win.
Yeah. So Cousins, Hall, Dobbs, Mullins, Darnold, Wentz, and McCarthy are the 7. Thought that was a little interesting, but now I hand it to Bill Dunkel, Sir Purple Encyclopedia. That's going to blow you away with some of these numbers. So, Bill, take the stage, sir.
Okay, we're going to – 2 quickies. Last 3 weeks, the Ravens' defense has allowed 1 touchdown pass. That's tied for best in the NFL, but as TB said, I think a lot has to do with the competition there. Lamar, 24-3 versus the NFC. He's lost 1 time against the North, and that was Detroit this year. But here's the bigger one. The Vikings are 3-4 versus the Ravens all time. 2-0 at home. The 3 times the Vikings have beat the Ravens, 98, 2009, 2017. They made the NFC Championship game. the 4 times they've lost to the Ravens, they've missed the playoffs.
Ugh. Oh boy. So this game might be uber.
Matter of fact, the 4 times they missed, they were 500 or lower.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's true too. And you know what? It's
Oh.
funny. All these games have been, my memory serves me right. Maybe not necessarily the 98, but they've all been close.
They've been wacky. It's been wacky games.
No,
Yeah, they've
17.
had, I mean,
17 wasn't close.
the one in 01 was 16-3, but that was Mike Tice's game because
take away that.
Denny
But I think they
resigned that
played
Friday.
well.
But
They
everything
kinda
else
played
was like a 6-point game.
Yeah,
Well, how about
they
the one?
played-
Didn't they have a 2-touchdown lead against the Ravens going into the fourth quarter? And then
That
Lamar.
was
That was the snow game.
2021.
Yeah, then Zimmer.
Yeah.
No, Zimmer's defense laid an egg.
2021.
Yeah,
Yep.
all year they'd laid an egg, and
Yep, 2021.
allowed the Ravens to come all the way back late. So
And they played well against Lamar up until that point.
that fourth quarter, yeah, the fateful fourth quarter. So
I mean, isn't
Eric.
Lamar's biggest weakness to get him is you got to do it up the middle, but somehow then you got to contain those edges. Isn't that how you really get him?
You make
That's
him
gonna
run
be
through you bunch up the middle and make him run up the middle, but you got to have somebody there because, he's not going to die. He might dive now because he's been hurt so much.
so
Eric, I was
basically,
going to ask you who's
Yeah.
kicking for the Ravens.
oh God,
Oh, it's the rookie, and I can't remember his name.
yeah, I know. I don't have my phone.
It's the
here.
rookie.
It is a rookie.
Okay.
So I know because you used to just say right.
Justin
It's
Tucker.
Justin
but-
Tucker was Mr. Automatic, and he had the record for longest kick.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
he did.
And it's funny, nobody's called him for a job.
Nobody. Nope. Talk
Nope.
about burning your reputation.
He ain't getting a job.
All right, to sum up Bills bites, basically, Vikings win NFC Championship game is bound. If they lose, there's no playoffs for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well,
So
and by
that
the
is-
way, I think that's the way it's actually. I won't say the championship game, but if they lose, I think that is going to be true. No playoffs. You have to win this game.
this is a
that's why it's very important.
incredible-
That's why it's very important for KOC to have this team ready. He's got to have this
Good
team
luck.
ready. Yeah, and I'm not
the
holding my
kicker,
breath.
Thank you, quality control. The kicker's name is Tyler Lute. Tyler Lute, I think was his name.
Loop. His name is Loop.
Loop. Yeah, I think it is Loop boo-doo-doo. So there you go. That is the kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully he
Okay.
And
misses,
by the way, Blake is 0-2 going to the game, so
so he can't go on. Hey Blake,
Blake
you gotta
needs to stay home.
you gotta stay home, Blake. Okay, you can't go to the game.
Stay home, Blake.
Don't
I'll
worry.
take your ticket. It won't go to waste.
TV is 1-0.
You gotta go with what works here. We're in desperation times. All right. So our big three, and then we'll get into our predictions, and then we'll finish with our final thoughts. Big three in this game is pretty easy, guys. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, just stop the guys on the right, those two smiling right there that usually cause a defense nightmares on end. You got to somehow contain them somehow, some way. That will be the number one goal for the Vikings and Flores. And God, he's probably not sleeping well this week. The second one, obviously the guy in the middle with that big smile of his, like a dog on the street. He's got to get going early and often, and just like he did against Detroit, provide the energy that everyone's going to feed off of and get the ball moving against that questionable Ravens defense. They're not that great. They're not what they used to be. I think McCarthy's going to have some big plays. Let's see if he can use that arm to make that happen and appease all those Viking fans that's saying, hey, 143 yards. I think 300 yards could be in order for him on Sunday. And three, Brian Flores. Can you please stop a team from scoring on the first drive? In fact, if they stop the Ravens on the first drive, I will feel very certain that the Minnesota Vikings can win this game. But I think it's 3 straight games? Has it been? At least 3.
All the way
Chargers
back
scored on their
to
opening drive. The Eagles scored on their opening drive.
Didn't they score? The Steelers scored in Dublin, right?
Right?
Yep.
They scored on their opening drive.
Cleveland. So
Chargers.
Steelers, Cleveland, Eagles, chart 4.
Yep.
Can we just stop somebody? Just the first drive at home. Just send the house.
And I
Quickly.
think last week we scored on our first drive for the first time since what? Since Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Seems like since 1998. I mean, this damn offense ain't doing nothing early. Nothing. But I think it's changed. That Mr. Smiling, Mr. Alter Ego. We got a psycho quarterback, and his name is J.J. McCarthy. Welcome to the new era of Vikings football. All right, gentlemen, let's get to it. Let's get to our predictions. I don't even know what our records are. It's probably 4-4. I'm going to guess. It's not been good. From the page, William A. Dean, 27-21 Vikings. Okay. Brian Adams, Vikings 34-24. I'm feeling J.J. McCarthy is starting to turn heads for these predictions. And
Nice.
Ted Kamachis, Vikings 28-17. And Ted Kamachis was one of the very few that picked the Vikings to beat the Lions. So, sir, well done.
Tip the Ted.
I'm going to hand this to you, Bill, after I tell you that the Minnesota Vikings will make it 2 in a row. They will win in a shootout. JJ will throw for over 300 yards. He'll have 3 touchdowns on the day. And the Vikings will outlast the Baltimore Ravens and win the crown of best team in purple in the National Football League, 35-28 in an exciting game at US Bank Stadium. Bill, the floor is yours.
Well, I picked the Eagles, and the Eagles were favored to beat the Vikes at Bud Grant Field. This isn't the Eagles, and I don't understand this. Baltimore's 3-5.
Yeah.
Okay, and they just beat a depleted, horrible coached Miami team. That coach will be gone at the end of the year.
He should be gone now.
Yeah, he should be gone now. How in God's name are they favored in Minnesota? Is Lamar that big of a deal?
I think it is.
It's Lamar.
And a lot of us still have Baltimore as Super Bowl bound.
Yeah,
I think you could see them
with
win
all
6
due respect
straight.
to Lamar, when he was in there, they were okay. They weren't blowing.
Well, the defense sucked. Yeah, the defense was so bad.
Sucks.
Bill,
in his defense, but that's what I say. The defense, how much has changed? I know they picked up that guy from the Chargers, and they're saying that kind of has helped the turnaround. The Vikings are, I think, if they can't get inspired by being an underdog against a 3-5 football team, I don't care if Lamar's in there or not, then there's no hope for this team. And the Vikings will win 27-17. And the first time they'll win 2 in a row. And I think McCarthy will have about 220 yards passing, a couple touchdowns. I think the star of the game is going to be Jordan Addison.
Love it. I love it. And that was JJ's favorite target in preseason.
Well, because look at this, Jordan Addison, it's going to be it's him and Zay Flowers.
That's right.
And so Jordan, I think, is better.
That draft. Yeah.
Jordan is better.
I think he is as well. Tony Bell, your final thoughts and the prediction for the big game coming up on Sunday.
We've got our Joe Cap taking the field on Sunday.
Yep.
That is the difference maker right there. Vikings 31, Ravens 20.
Yeah.
We're all feeling the McCarthy.
Well, you know what I did mention?
You like that?
NFL
yes,
Network,
we do, Kirko.
NFL Network, before Rich Eisen in the game, picked their games. But the NFL Network, some panels, all but one picked the Ravens. ESPN, I read this morning, all of them are picking the Ravens. It just doesn't.
Here's the thing.
I don't think it's their year. That's what I'm saying.
Lamar is he's like the fancy pick. He is the proven pick. It's Lamar Jackson. My God, he's on the cover of everything. He's basically what quarterback should be nowadays. But the guy's been hurt. JJ is the great unknown, but JJ, he's got that dog in him. Let's just be honest.
Can I ask a
He's
question?
got that dog in him.
Dog in the street.
Can I ask a question?
We did find out where that came from, gentlemen. If you want to know, don't know yet. Walter Rouse. This is a slogan that Walter Rouse used to use just to kind of pick up teammates, stuff like that he learned probably back in his Oklahoma days and vice versa. They just thought it was a fun thing everyone likes for whatever reason when you say it, like a dog on the street. And here's JJ picking it up and using it as an anthem to pump up this team. He is a little scary. You look at his face when he gets in that mode. He's like,
He's a hockey player. What do you
He
expect?
did
He's a
that at
hockey player.
Michigan.
A whole different bird, man. This is a
Yeah.
whole different bird. I knew it when they drafted him. This guy is going to lead us to unbelievable things. And this is the final thought. Let me see if I can put this as good as I can. I had to write this out. Just in honor of Deep Purple, which was part of our open. A great job by Quality Control. She always does.
She's had rocking songs the last 2 weeks. I'm
She's
impressed.
been rocking. She's been rocking. She knows it. The smoke is coming off a U.S. Bank Field on Sunday. The Vikings need to find consistency, and the Ravens are fighting for their lives to get back into the playoff relevancy. A veteran MVP quarterback with moves like Jagger versus a young, energetic, like a dog on the street, J.J. McCarthy, who's got everything to prove and wants to show you what this kid's all about. This is a battle of purple pride. And to the winner goes the spoils of victory, and hence to the loser faces a week of agony and despair.
Did you really put in a Maroon 5?
Quote the Raven nevermore.
You were fine till you put Maroon 5 in.
McCarthy, we trust Bill Dunkel. In JJ McCarthy, we trust. And
you still
Sunday,
put Maroon 5 in there. We have a problem.
Well, Lamar does have moves like Jagger. Try to sack that guy.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
The next 2 weeks, division games.
Yeah.
Chicago at home.
And then Green Bay on the road. Very winnable. Very winnable.
Yeah.
If the Vikings win this game, after what they did to the Detroit Lions, if they beat the Baltimore Ravens, who many of us still think has a chance to be in the Super Bowl, but if they lose this week, they're 3-6. They're in big trouble.
They're done.
They're pretty much done.
I think they're done now.
Then you have the Bears team that their defense gave up 42 to Cincinnati. And the Packers can't win at home. So this
and no Tucker Kraft.
And no Tucker Kraft. This
yeah.
Remember, this was the schedule. We all said, oh, no,
yep.
We're in trouble. Mercy. White flag. Detroit. Baltimore. Chicago. Green
and I think after Green Bay is Washington.
Yes.
This could be.
And Daniels won't be ready by. No, wait.
Daniels.
No, wait. I think after Green Bay is Seattle.
No, Washington first, then Seattle.
Is it Washington first, then Seattle?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's a bit. I can't wait for that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, Washington won't have Daniels.
I don't want to jump ahead, but J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold as Seattle, Minnesota. That is so juicy.
But Seattle's got a damn good defense.
Yeah, they do.
And they run the ball, Tony Bell, and they
do
smart. They're playing smart football. McDonald has that team playing extremely well. But
to show how your season can go, possibly flip. The Indianapolis Colts lost their best defensive player today. Neck injury, DeForest Buckner's out.
No, are you serious?
Oh, no.
For the year?
Oh,
minimum 4 weeks. Minimum 4. He's on
IR. Oh my God! The Falcons have a chance in Germany.
You know, I love DeForest, but you got to look at him. He's hurt every year too.
He gets hurt every year.
Devastating injury though for the
the Colts got a bunch of injuries on their defense as a whole, and now losing him. And I know they got Sauce, but boy, I mean that's what happens. You know, the Vikings are getting.
You know what? The person that could be the wild card on that Sunday morning game could be Bijan. Now you can run on,
but
you can run on the Colts.
We got to cheer for the Colts
fantasy player, Bijan. I'm expecting a big day for Bijan Robinson. For Bill Dunkel, Tony Bell for Quality Control, who just continually kills it with the pictures, even though she did slip up with the sound today. I will make sure she feels bad for that later. Trust me, I will.
Well, you know what?
This is your host.
No, wait, hold
signing off.
Yeah, but with that screw up when it comes to the annual review.
Yeah, yes, that's true. This is true.
All right. I quit.
For Tony, for Bill, for Quality Control, yours truly. Wishing you an awesome Friday night. And as always, gentlemen,
Skol.
That wraps up another edition of the official Purple Skull Squad show for Minnesota Vikings fans. We'll be back on Sunday to wrap up the game. And don't forget, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend. Skol!